Hello everybody, Hate the Blogger Guy here. It is December 22nd. Only a couple of more days to Christmas. Only a few more days until Santa shows up. And once again, it is time for a Christmas story. If this is your first time to my page, won't you hit that subscribe button? Also, if you ring that bell, that'll notify you anytime I put out any kind of new content. If you're liking what you're seeing, give me a thumbs up. Also, feel free to share these videos, because that definitely gets it out to a lot more eyes. And tonight's story is A Pussycat's Christmas. Excuse me. All right, here we go. It was Christmas. How could you tell? Was the snow falling? No. The little pussycat knew that Christmas was coming. The icicles tinkled when it broke on the frozen mud puddle. The cold air made her hair stand straight up in the air, and the air smelt just as it did last year. What did it smell like? Could she smell Christmas trees? Of course she could. And tangerines, and Christmas greens, and hollies. And could she hear the crackle and slip of white tussle tissue paper and red tissue paper? She certainly could. Tissue paper rustled, nuts cracked, scissors cut. Brr! That there wasn't a flake of snow in the sky, but the sky was dark and low, and there was a dark smell of winter air before snow, and then click. The street lights clicked on all over town, and as if heaven turned dark beyond the window, one by one, snowflakes began to fall out of the sky. How did little Pussycat know? Could she hear the snow? She certainly could. She ran right out into the snowstorm. For if there was anything that this little cat loved, it was the cold, dry, fresh, white, wild, feathery, powdery snow. She went pouncing around bouncing around in joy, and she ate some of it, and she rolled in it, and dug in it, and played in it. And then she stood up, all white as snow, very still, for very quiet, very quiet. First there was no sound, and then there was some. For when everything was quiet, you could hear things far away. From the sky with a sound like a steady whisper come the snow, and the sound of snow. Then the wind rustled the black branches and rattled. It was time for Pussycat to go into the house. For little cats do not like the wind. They certainly don't like snow, but this little cat did. All the smells of the earth that she knew were frozen and buried in the white snow. The world was very quiet and very mysterious. Even footsteps were quiet. Pussycat didn't go in right away because, though through the wind and the falling snow, she heard something. She stood very still and stretched her ears. There was a whitened darkness, and soon she heard it coming from far away up the snowy road. Ding, 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 jingle, 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 ding. What was it? She heard it going by in the white falling snow. She saw it. She saw a sleigh go jingling by. Then Pussycat meowed at the window pane, and she heard footsteps coming to let her in. They always let her in right away because they didn't want her to get cold, and they liked to have her in the house. She walked right into the living room where she could smell the sharp, tangy smell of the Christmas tree and candles and nuts and raisins and apples and tangerines. But they shouldn't have let her stay in the living room where there were wrapped up packages and hanging things on the tree. And this is why. Pussycat pounced. She pounced on everything, and she waited to pounce on the shiny eyes and switching tails. She waited with shiny eyes for something to fall, to tinkle, to crash, or to break. She batted at the Christmas tree balls with her paw, tore at the tissue paper, and pulled at the bows of the packages. So they put her out in the hall and closed the glass door. Pussy laid down and purred by the fire. She lifted her ears to listen. There was that sound of crackling, crackle. What was that? Was that the fire? Always there was the sound of snow hissing against the window pane. There was a tiny, tingling little pop, and something fell from the Christmas tree and shivered into a million splinters of light. That was wonderful. The light gleamed into the pussycat's eyes, and then bong, bong, bong. What was that? The sound was hanging the Christmas tree stockings. Everyone came out and stepped over and around the little pussycat and put on coats and boots and mufflers and hats and laughed and shuffled about and hitched each other under the mistletoe, and then off they went to church. Suddenly it was quietly far off into the night. Pussycat could hear ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. When everyone had gone, it was dark and quiet. The snow had stopped, and there was only the smell of the Christmas tree, filling the house in silence. Then, softly at first, but distant in the night, she heard people walking from window to window, the dark carolers on the white snow. Though the still air, their voices came to her listening ears over to silence of the frozen snow. In the silence of the moonlight, in the silence of night, in the silence of the bright stars high in the sky. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright. And the little pussycat purred and purred by the fire. She heard in the distance the music faded far off, far down the road. Then she pushed open the living room door with her paw, and there was silent house, was the Christmas tree. It sparkled, it glistened with light, golden and silver and blue. The lights of rubies and emeralds shine like no tree that any cat had ever seen in the woods. This, to Pussycat, was Christmas Eve. Well, that was a cute little story. And I hope everybody enjoyed. And until we see each other again tomorrow, bye-bye.